Hey everyone, it's Tracy with Weaver Design Company, and I have another video for us to watch together. This is not a walkthrough video. It is AI narrated and probably put together as well because some of the clips don't really make sense. When you watch them, you'll find out. What they're talking about in this video is builder grade materials, getting scammed by your builder, that sort of thing. And you might ask, well, who am I to be talking about this? I've spent about 20 years now in this industry. I started out painting, doing faux finishing and murals, and then I got into kitchen design. I worked at a couple of different places doing kitchen design, so I understand cabinets, countertops, that sort of thing. Then I got into flooring, so I had to sell wood, laminate, vinyl, tile, all the things, carpet. I was the person helping customers make decisions on what they wanted to purchase for flooring. And then I worked for a contractor, general contractor, for 5 years. I started out as a project consultant selling jobs, and then I was able to do drafting and design for them, as well as go over any contracts that we had, which our contracts were very long and very detailed. So we would build additions, new construction, decks, kitchen remodel, bathroom remodel, all of that. So our jobs ranged from anywhere from 20,000 all the way up to $800,000. So that's where I'm coming from in my background. And just recently, a year ago, I started my own drafting business to be able to educate people on things just like this. And I've also been the homeowner. So I drafted and designed our own home that we built. So I've been on this side of the coin. And that's why I wanted to show this video to you. So on this first screen here, you'll see this is the name of a model that these builders offer. And I can't figure out if this whole video is about just this builder or if they're just trying to lump all builders together. And anyway, let's just get into it. You'll see this first house here.
Last year, a couple in South Carolina.
That's actually for sale right now, and it's $500,000. So I'm assuming they built it, but there's no information.
Walked into a model home priced at $389,000. Open floor plan, quartz island, wide plank hardwood, stainless steel appliances that
The year 2000.
looked like they belonged in a cooking show. They signed. They locked in their rate. They picked their lot. 4 months later,
I don't know of any builder that's going to build a house in 4 months, but I could be wrong.
they got the keys to what was technically the same floor plan, but it felt like a completely different house. The hardwood was gone, replaced by vinyl plank that clicks together like a puzzle toy. The quartz was gone, replaced by laminate.
So they're basically claiming that maybe this builder or other builders are operating off of a bait and switch. So I don't know how that's possible. I've never seen that. And if that is going on, then shame on that builder. But they're going to usually send you to a design showroom to pick these things out within an allowance, within a budget. And so it would be in their best interest to not do this and switch your materials out at the end. So that doesn't make sense. And if this has happened to you, that's terrible.
With a printed pattern designed to
Okay, so this doesn't have anything to do. This has nothing to do with you building a house. This is what I was talking about, where they just throw random clips in here.
photograph well from 5 feet away. The cabinets looked the same color, but when you opened them, you could feel the difference. Particle board with a skin of thermofoil so thin you could dent it with your thumbnail. They did not get.
Okay, so right here, they're showing you a showroom from another builder. This builder here, and I guess this one as well. So to me, it's already not fair. You're starting with one builder and now you're throwing in another. So are we just lumping all of them together?
Scammed by a shady operation in a back alley. They bought from one of the 10 largest production builders in America. Everything was technically legal. Everything was technically disclosed.
So if you are working with a builder, you need to have a contract in place. Okay. So if they're saying technically this is what's going to happen, then it should happen. So if they're trying to switch materials, I mean, there's no way they could be doing that unless you as a homeowner are obviously not paying attention to what's going on.
And that word, technically, is the entire game. This is how the luxury illusion works in new construction. Once you see the mechanics, you will never look at a model home the same way. Here's the first thing no one tells you. That model home you toured, the one with the waterfall edge island, the designer lighting, and the tiled shower with the frameless glass. That model has between $50,000 and $100,000 in upgrades.
Did you catch that? Upgrades, upgrades, perhaps is what they meant. So are we talking spec home builder or are we talking custom home builder? Because those are separate things. A spec home builder, they're building for quantity. They have to build a certain amount a year to stay in business. And a custom home builder is exactly that. They're going to build whatever you want as long as you have the money to do so. So saying that this model home is full of all of these options, well, who are we talking about? And regardless, a builder has that ability to show off what they're capable of building.
That are not included in the base price.
So this is where you need to find a reputable builder. And things like this won't be in question at all. All of that should be laid out.
According to reports,
Who? What reports?
some builders load their models with options so far above the standard package that the model bears almost no resemblance to the house you're actually buying. They know this. The sales team knows this. The interior designer who staged that model was specifically hired to make you feel like you are buying a.
Okay, so staging a model home, whether it's a spec house or a custom build, has nothing to do with your build. Builders have the right to show off what they're capable of. And by staging a house, you're able to see proportions and such. And you can see it with furniture and see what it looks like. So this has nothing to do with your home build and the premise of this video.
Lifestyle, not a structure. The scented candle in the bathroom,
Doesn't matter.
the perfectly folded towels, the furniture scaled down slightly to make
Not
the rooms
really.
feel bigger than they are. None of that is accidental. Every detail in that model exists to bypass your rational brain and aim straight for your emotions.
I think homeowners are a little smarter than that, so I disagree with that.
And here is the trap. By the time you realize your base home looks nothing like the model, you are sitting in a design center,
A what? A center, perhaps?
being shown a menu of upgrades with.
That's not true. They're showing you probably what's in your allowance. So some builders operate off an allowance for flooring, cabinets, countertops, whatever, lighting. And it's in your best interest to stay in that because in order to even build a house, most builders require you to show them some sort of financing, pre-qualification for financing. And that determines what they can do with what you're financed for. So just say that a showroom is just showing you all the upgrades, they're not. They're probably going to show you what you're allowed to do. And then most homeowners want what they want, so they see this tile. Oh, well, I don't want that tile. I want this tile that's $20 a square foot. So that ends up happening and it happens all the time, but that isn't your builder's fault. They're trying to keep you in this column and you're trying to go over here.
Prices that make your eyes water. Flooring upgrade,
That's not a floor.
$8,000.
That's a countertop.
Cabinet upgrade, $12,000. Countertop upgrade, $6,000. Appliance package, $5,000.
So I don't know where these numbers are coming from. Here again, this video is just very general. It's like they're just throwing numbers out there. It could be any sort of cost for that matter. So if you're going to these models and it's showing $389,000, go ahead and ask your builder, what does that include? What is that total? What do I get for that amount of money? Because if you're going into these showrooms to pick out your finishes and your fixtures and things with your allowances, and you go over that, you know, you're given those allowances so that you stay in this price point. And if you've gone over that, it's really not your builder's fault. They're trying to keep you in a budget.
Becomes $440,000 and climbing. The builder advertised a starting price
What is
they
that?
knew almost nobody would actually pay. Industry insiders call it gotcha pricing.
I've never heard of
Get
that.
them in the door with a number, then upsell them once they are emotionally committed.
That's that's really unfair to the design professionals that are helping homeowners. They're not there to necessarily upsell you because they know they have to stay in a budget. And sometimes you do go over, and that's okay, but you just have to be aware of what you're getting.
But the upgrades are not even the real problem. The real problem is what you are getting at the base level. Let me walk you through what builder grade actually means in practice, because the industry has turned those two words into a magic trick. Start with the cabinets. Builder grade cabinets are typically made from particle board or MDF with a laminate or thermofoil surface.
I'm going to stop right there. Okay, so they're talking about builder grade, and they're assuming that that's bad. So these builders, here again, if we're talking about a spec home builder, they have to give homeowners a bottom. They have to give them somewhere to start, okay? And then it usually goes up from there. Now, in terms of builder grade cabinets, there are lines that do have particle board boxes, or furniture board is what we refer to it also. And yeah, they're going to be the baseline product that they offer. Now, to say that they just have thermofoil and laminate, I think is really misleading. I sold a lot of cabinets in a builder's line or beginning line where it was furniture board, and but they had stained doors as well and painted. So to just say it's limited to those two things is very misleading. And you can always upgrade to a plywood box. And it's your money. You get to choose where you want it to go.
Particle board is compressed wood dust held together with resin and covered in a plastic film. According to industry sources, these cabinets have a durability rating of 4 out of 10.
So I want you to think about something here. So think, okay, laminated cabinets, they're terrible or whatever. So if you think commercially, you have hospitals, schools, offices that use laminated cabinets, and they last a really long time, and they're made of a high pressure laminate. So to say that it's a bad product, it's not. All of these materials, whether they call them builder grade or whatever, they all have a place. And it's not really the builder's fault that the vendor offers these things. They're just, like I said, they're trying to keep you in sort of a budget. And if they're referring to the builder at the very beginning, who maybe it's a bait and switch thing, that's a totally different issue. So
And an expected lifespan of 10 to 15 years. Exposed to any moisture, and in a kitchen, there is always moisture. The particle board swells. The laminate peels. The hinges loosen because the screws have nothing.
yeah, like I said, I don't know of any builder who's gonna want that type. That's obviously a very old looking cabinet door. So, and it's in their best interest to get you somewhat of a good product because they're the ones that have to warranty this stuff after you've built your house.
solid to grip. Compare that to solid wood cabinets from a custom builder, which can last 30 to 50 years.
So that's a totally different thing. Here again, are we talking spec builder or are we talking custom builder? Now, custom cabinets, that's a whole other ballgame. And the whole builder grade term could be used for cabinets as early as the 90s, I would say. We used to have old growth lumber. Okay, so that's kind of what you're seeing there. Um, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and then by the 80s, that was basically depleted. So the 90s came along and the 2000s, and here come the builder grade boxes, the particle board, the furniture board, and it's because the supply chain at that point was kind of depleted. So yeah, you can do custom cabinets all day, but you're going to pay for it.
And actually hold their resale value.
Hmm.
But here's the thing, both cabinets look almost identical in a photograph, and that is by design. The entire builder grade category exists to replicate the appearance of premium materials.
That's not true. You can find a lot of great materials at a beginning price point, and a lot of those showrooms are set up to show those to you. So to just say that or demonize a whole showroom or a whole industry because you think they're screwing the homeowner, I don't think that's fair. And a lot of these builders work with these showrooms and they choose these certain materials in a price point because perhaps maybe the vendor's local and they can get it quicker, which affects your timeline. Um, so it's not just, oh, this is a bad material. There's a lot of things that go into those.
At a fraction of the cost and a fraction of the lifespan.
Mm.
It is not built to perform, it is built to close the sale. Now look at the floors. Builder grade carpet.
So they're going to talk about builder grade carpet. Okay, well, think of it as the builder is here again giving you a bottom to start from. Now, this particular one, they're showing you probably a polyester fiber.
Uses thinner, less resilient fibers with minimal padding underneath.
So that could be true, but here again, you have the option to do something better if you want. Usually, those beginning price points, here again, it's not the builder's fault. They're not the ones making the carpet. That's just what they have to choose from, right? So, normally it's a polyester fiber, and in my opinion, it's better suited for upholstery and clothing. And so, yeah, that's going to wear out after a while. It's going to last you a couple years. Usually, the cushion they start you out in is a rebond recycled foam, which it still works. But you can upgrade that as well. So as a homeowner, you have to decide, am I going to put my money here? Am I going to take it away from here? It's your house, it's your money. You can make those upgrades if you want to, but again, your builder has to start somewhere with you.
It shows traffic patterns within 2 years. The vinyl plank flooring that replaced hardwood in most base.
So I disagree with this. You can still get both, okay? Vinyl has become wildly popular, and it's because it's a waterproof material. And when I was selling flooring, the number one reason why floors would get replaced was because of water damage. And vinyl kind of solves that problem. So if you were a family, you have kids, you have pets, you know, you want your floor to be protected in that way. But to say it's replaced wood altogether, that isn't true because they're still going to have wood options available to you.
Packages is waterproof and scratch resistant, which sounds.
Now, it's scratch resistant, it is not scratch proof. So these are the things when you're picking materials out, make sure you're asking questions. What does this do? How does this perform? Um, you could still scratch a wood floor. It just depends on how you're taking care of your floor.
Great until you learn that it cannot be refinished when it wears out,
That
and it
looks
will
really
in 10 to 25 years.
that looks like there's zero wear layer on that floor, so that's probably a very bad example.
You rip it all out and start over. Hardwood engine.
So I want to go back to the vinyl comments. Also, you want to think about back to the hospital commercial school setting. So a lot of those commercial buildings, they're going to have vinyls on the floor, and it's because you can run a mechanized wheelchair over them as long as they're glued down. So vinyl is a very, very good floor. It's come a long way. So to just demonize one material over another isn't fair. They all kind of have their place.
Engineered flooring with a thick wear layer can be sanded and refinished 5 to 7 times over a lifespan of 20 to 80 years.
I disagree with that. Engineered wood floors have only so much of a top layer of wood. And depending on the thickness, you might get a couple refinishes out of them. 5 to 7 is pushing it. That's crazy. And if you're refinishing your floor that much, you should probably just get a solid floor. Um, I've just never really seen that before.
But the builder did not install that. The builder installed the one that costs 2 to 8.
So they're showing you floor and decor, which I don't think is fair. A builder's not going to send you there, and it's because they're not going to have the quantities available. Yeah, they have some good stuff there, but for a builder to do your entire house, um, Floor and Decor probably won't be able to do that very easily as a showroom would, because they have the ability to order a lot of flooring at once. And Floor and Decor probably does too, but they're probably not going to send you there. The pricing here is accurate. That's going to depend on if it's a rigid core or a WPC material.
$8 per square foot instead of $4 to $15 per square foot.
So yeah, if your builder has done this bait and switch thing where they're trying to sell you, they're telling you that you're getting a wood floor, but then you're getting a vinyl floor, then yeah, that's a terrible builder, and you need to find a new one. Um, but here again, it all comes back to a contract and signing off on what you've chosen.
Because on 3,000 square feet of flooring, that difference is pure margin. And then there are the fixtures. This is where the illusion gets surgical. Major brands like Moen, Schlage, and
Schlag.
Delta make multiple product lines. They have a builder grade line, a retail line sold at big box stores.
So I think this is unfair. Builder's probably not going to send you to a box store to pick out your faucets, okay? Because a lot of them do have plastic internal parts instead of like brass. So they're usually going to send you to an actual plumbing showroom where you have a plumbing specialist who can walk you through those things. Now, in my house, I went and bought my own fixtures. They didn't warranty those, but they installed them for me, and I totally understood that. So here again, if you want to save yourself some money, that's a way to do that. But to demonize a builder for Moen having different prices in different categories or what have you, that's not really fair either. They're entitled to do that because they need to be able to have a lot of different price points for their customers. And some faucets are extremely expensive. I had a homeowner that picked out $800 vanity faucets. So, yeah, a builder's not going to have you do that.
And a premium line. The builder grade faucet has the same logo stamped on it as the luxury version. Same brand name.
So that's where you need to verify with your builder, verify with the person that you picked it out with. Like, what am I paying for? What is the warranty? How long is it going to last? Again, it's not your builder's fault for what you're picking out. He's just giving you a budget to stick within.
Same general shape, but it is made with thinner materials, fewer internal components, and a shorter engineered lifespan.
So I'm going to relate this to cars for a second. Maybe that'll help some people understand. So I'm a Jeep girl. Obviously, Jeep makes a lot of different things. I know they were bought out by Fiat, which is terrible. Anyway, so they have anything from a Compass, which is probably their base model, all the way up to like a unlimited Rubicon. So they're showing you the spectrum of things you can buy from. And even like within the Wranglers, you have this package, and this package, because they have different options. That's really no different than what you're seeing there with your plumbing fixtures, and that's totally okay for a brand to do.
You see the brand, and your brain fills in the quality. That is the entire strategy. The windows tell the same story. Builder grade windows are often low tier double pane in stock sizes.
Here again, they're labeling them builder grade. It's just a beginning line, okay? And yeah, they're going to be cheaper. They're going to be a vinyl of sorts, but that doesn't make them necessarily terrible. If you have X amount of dollars, then that's where they have to start you. And you're more than welcome to upgrade your windows, but be prepared to spend the money for that.
They are frequently ill fitting, leaving gaps that leak air and moisture. Higher quality windows with proper installation can cut energy costs dramatically and eliminate condensation problems. But those
That's
cost
true.
more. And
Of
the
course, they cost more, but you have to know what you're getting and ask your builder, what are you putting in my house? I want documentation of that. And like in my case, I went and looked at the windows myself because I wanted to see. And you should do the same.
the builder already used the cheapest window that passes code. Now, here's where the psychology turns dark. The design center experience is engineered the same way a casino is engineered.
No, it's not. There's no slot machines. There's no drinks. There's no showgirls. There's none of that. I promise you that. So to just villainize a showroom and a design center is unfair. Most of these places operate on a schedule. They see more than one homeowner. They have to block off an hour or two at least because they're picking multiple materials. So to say it's just a walk-in free for all is not fair.
You walk in overwhelmed by choices,
Sure.
hundreds of tile samples.
Yeah. That's a showroom. They have every right to show all the things that are available because if you're building a spec house, there's going to be materials for you. If you want to upgrade, they have those also. But don't villainize the builder for that. They're not the ones that are picking these specific tiles out and putting them up. And I think it's good to look at the materials, compare them. But if you're given an allowance, you should probably stay in that allowance if you don't want to pay more money.
Dozens of cabinet finishes, countertop slabs, faucet displays. A design consultant sits with you and walks you through every room.
Mm-hmm.
And with each decision, you are anchoring against the builder grade default, which has been intentionally made to look and feel disappointing.
I disagree with that. It's not the builder's fault that that's what's available. They're just showing you the bottom. And in fact, the company that I worked for, when we were doing new builds and remodels, we never did allowances with people because it's kind of a made up number, and it's very hard for someone to guess what you're going to spend or what you want. Most people want what they want. So the way we did it, we had people go in and pick out what they want and kind of started at the top. And if it was too much, if the quotes came back, they were too high, we were transparent about that. Okay, what can we take away to get closer to your budget?
So every upgrade feels justified. You are not spending more. You are rescuing your home from mediocrity.
But that's your choice as a homeowner. You can upgrade if you want to. You don't have to.
That framing is deliberate, and the pricing structure supports it. Builder upgrades are typically marked up 50.
So I'm not sure where they get these numbers. It's kind of, I feel like they just put a graph up here. But yeah, a builder's in business, but they are given estimates from their vendors, their subcontractors, and that's how they build your package. So,
to 100% over what you would pay a contractor
mm,
after closing. Reports from multiple
okay, look at this,
markets
guys.
consist
This is what makes me question this entire video. The date here, March 12th, 2026, is next week. So are we just making up information? So that's why it's hard for me to believe anything in this video.
Consistently show that flooring purchased through the builder costs roughly double what the same product costs installed independently. But the builder makes it convenient. It rolls into your
Well,
mortgage.
sure.
You do not feel the pain the same way.
That's what happens when you build a house. It's rolled into a mortgage, all of it.
And they remind you that anything you install after closing will not be covered by the builder warranty.
Why would it? Why would a builder cover something and be liable for something that you have installed as a homeowner? That doesn't make any sense. And it's not fair.
That warranty line is the closer. It creates urgency.
Okay, so read this really carefully, guys. This is a car warranty, 30-day, 1,000-mile limited warranty. So does your house have wheels now? Is that a new thing? It just makes me question this whole video. It's just crazy.
1 year on workmanship, 2 years on systems, and a 10-year structural warranty administered by a company the builder selected and funds.
So I don't know about that. Most builders are going to offer the warranty themselves. And if there's something wrong, they're going to either send an employee out, or they're going to send their subcontractor out to fix something. So maybe this is new, or maybe we don't have that type of thing in our area. If you're a builder, and you might chime in here.
The company whose job is to deny your claim has a financial relationship with the company that caused the problem. So let me lay out what is actually happening at scale. The production builder buys land
The
in bulk.
developer?
They design 5 to 7 floor plans.
Sure. So this, we're talking about more of a spec home builder. They're building quantity.
Optimized for speed.
Yeah, so speed. When they deal with vendors for framing and such, those vendors have those floor plans already. They already have the trusses, the window opening sizes. So that's what streamlines the process. So it makes your build go quicker. Now, if you're talking custom build, that's a whole other thing.
Not durability. They build a model loaded with every upgrade option to
And they have the right to do that. They have the right to show off what they're capable of doing. It doesn't, I would like to see, what they're capable of doing. And if I can't afford that, that's not the builder's fault. Okay. It's whatever you're approved for financing. That's what you have to build within. And if you can't afford that, then perhaps you should buy an older home and maybe remodel that, remodel the kitchen, remodel the bathroom. Not everybody can build a house right now.
create maximum emotional impact. They advertise the base price, which includes the cheapest code compliant version of every component. They bring you into a design center engineered
Center.
to upsell. And the home you actually receive is a Frankenstein of base level material.
I disagree with that. Those materials are not that terrible, because if they were, then no builder would offer those. And again, if you were a homeowner and you've experienced that, that's terrible. And I'm sorry that happened to you. But, you also have the freedom as a homeowner to get off Pinterest, stop watching HGTV, and actually go into a showroom, a local showroom, see what they have, see what's out there, become educated yourself before you even start your building process. Um, or utilize people like myself. I'd be more than happy to go walk with somebody in a flooring store and point out all of these things. But you have some responsibilities as a homeowner before you build, also.
Dressed up by whatever upgrades you could afford under pressure. The kitchen looks nice for the Instagram photo on move-in day. 18 months later, the thermofoil is
again.
peeling. The faucet drips. The floor shows every scuff. The paint they used was the cheapest flat finish contractor grade, and it marks if you lean against it.
If you have a good builder, you should know exactly what you're getting in your house. You should have picked it out. I don't know. I don't see how this could happen, and I'm sure it does, but
This is not luxury. This is a theater set with a 30-year mortgage attached. And the people who know how to beat this system all do the same thing. They never walk into a model home without the spec sheet for the base package already in their hand. They make the builder print it.
sure. You might as well. But the thing you need to realize is from the time that they started this model to now, some of those materials could be discontinued. They may not even be available. And that can happen during your build. You might have a tile that discontinues. That's actually very common. So to just say, oh, I need to see all these materials, they may not even be available at that time anymore. But absolutely go ahead and ask your builder, what did this cost? What did this cost in reality?
Every material, every brand, every product line. Because if you cannot see what the base home actually includes before you fall in love with the staged version, you have already lost the negotiation. The smart buyers also price the upgrades independently before
Sure.
they ever sit down in that.
That's what I was just saying. You're free to go look around before you even go anywhere and educate yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it'll help you. And I think your builder will appreciate it too because you understand where they're coming from.
In that design center. They call local contractors for flooring,
Hmm.
countertops, and cabinets. And they discover that most cosmetic upgrades cost 30 to 50% less when done after closing.
Like, where are your
The
sources
only
for that?
upgrades worth buying from the builder are the ones you physically.
So they're talking about upgrades. Okay. If you're talking spec house, and they're used to building a specific house, you're not going to be able to really upgrade a lot. Maybe a tray ceiling here and there, but those trusses are already figured in the cost already, and that would be obviously a custom thing or a vaulted ceiling, perhaps. But if you're doing a custom build, then it's best that you get all of that priced out ahead of time so you know exactly what it's going to cost.
physically cannot add later. Ceiling height increases, garage extensions,
Hmm.
electrical pre wiring, plumbing rough ends, and lot premiums. Everything else is markup dressed as convenience.
Mm.
And when a builder says the brand is Moen, or Delta, or Schlage,
Schlag.
the auditor does not nod. The auditor asks for the model number. Because a Moen build.
But you should know what that is already, if you've picked out your own stuff. Unless the builder is just saying, this is what you get, then that's a different story.
Grade faucet and a Moen premium faucet are two entirely different products hiding behind the same logo. Same name, different guts, different lifespan, different everything. The move that separates the informed buyer from everyone else is bringing an independent inspector during framing before the.
You can do that, I guess, if you want to, but your builder has already pulled a permit to even build your house. They can't start building your house without that. And your house is going to be inspected either by the city or the county at least 6 times throughout your process, including the framing. So somebody has to sign off on that. But if you want to bring your own inspector, I guess you could do that.
the drywall goes up.
You also need to keep in mind that whether you're doing a spec house or a custom build, they are subject to the same codes. So it doesn't matter what you're building, they have to be inspected in the same way.
Goes up. The builder will not love it. Some will push back. But once those walls close, you will never see what is behind them.
One thing I would offer you to do is take pictures of your build. I did in every stage, and I'm glad that I did. You might need those later, just in case. This looks like a remodel here.
And what is behind them matters more than what color you picked for the backsplash. There is one more calculation nobody does at the closing table, and it is the most important one. Take the advertised base price, add the lot premium, add the design center upgrades,
If they're upgrades, that means that you chose that. So
add closing costs, then add the cost of replacing every builder grade component that will fail within the first 15 years.
15 years is a long time, actually, and I've seen builds from the 90s that still have the same materials and they still look and function pretty good. Yeah, they're outdated, but to say they're going to all fall apart, I think that's a little misleading.
The thermofoil cabinets,
Thermofoil.
the vinyl floors, the cheap faucets, the builder grade windows that will fog up in year 8. That total is the real price of the house. When you see it written down, you understand why they never show it to you
I think they're just pulling numbers out of thin air again. I don't know where they get these here.
up front. The model home is the most expensive marketing tool in real estate. It exists to make you feel something. The house they actually build for you exists to deliver the
So they're showing here again spec homes and going on about the model home and all of that. You guys have to do your research, and you can't demonize a whole industry because of model homes. The builders, if they didn't do that, you would have no idea what they're capable of doing, whether it's spec home or custom builder. Okay, they're, like I said, they're separate categories, but this video is like lumping them all together. Now, if your budget allows for a spec home, then that's great. If it allows for a custom build, that's great. But what happens here is that contractors get this bad reputation. Homeowners feel like they're getting screwed, and then the designers who are stuck in the middle, people think they don't know what they're talking about. So it creates this triangle of animosity, and it creates videos like this. So I really wanted to just offer some clarity here. I'll play the rest of
maximum
it.
margin for them on every square foot.
Sure does.
Those two goals have never been aligned. Every family that walks through a model home without knowing this is playing a game where the rules were written by the other side.
Yeah, so it really depends on where you live, depends on the builder. Do your research. You know, they're a business. Builders are in business to make money, just like I'm in business to make money. That's what businesses do. And they have to do that in order to build more houses and to pay employees and such. So here again, yeah, to take the building industry as a whole and just lump it all together like this, I think is unfair. But I wanted to just clarify some things in this video. So if you're a homeowner, builder, other designer, what do you think of this? What are your opinions? I had to do a reaction here. I couldn't help it. It just really bothered me. And here again, I don't know how much of this is true since it's AI narrated and a lot of the clips don't really go together. And if you are a homeowner and you've had a bad experience, that's terrible. And I feel really bad for you. There are some bad contractors out there, but the majority of them want to do a good job for you. And, you know, just you have to find out who they are. So, anyway, let me know what you guys think of this. You might subscribe to my channel. This, I love doing this type of thing. I love trying to educate people as much as I can. So if you enjoyed this, you might subscribe, share it, whatever you want to do. I'm new to YouTube, so getting the hang of it. But yeah, I'm Tracy with Weaver Design Company, and thanks for watching.